kurang bisan wai jangama kurang bisan ya matrenelo iyan den jai kai wai iyan den marong suma iyan den marong kai wai kurang bisan wai jangama mernala bi wajal sumanje ke na se yo ya maton iyan kilime na fonye bang fan tv iyan kilime na fonye bang fan tv iyan kilime na fonye bang gasiti kadomo wallahi iyan kilime na fonye bang iyan kilime na fonye bang ke kuta iyan kilime na fonye bang ke kuta iyan kilime na fonye bang gasiti kadomo de wallahi gasiti kadomo fan tv iyan kilime na fonye bang yande marong yande jai kai wai yande marong suma yande jai kai wai
Good evening, fellow students of our research institution. It is a pleasure to be with you this evening, and I am Sana Boyang, the Information and Communications Minister of the Gambia College Students Union. As you all know that the Gambia College Students Union policy debate is in progress, and here I present to you another interesting policy debate between the two aspiring candidates that are vying for the position of vice presidents in the upcoming Gambia College Students Union election. The two aspiring candidates are the one in my left hand side is Honorable Biran B. Salah, and the other one in my right hand side is Honorable Louis Genio Mendy. They are here to tell us what they have for the students of the Gambia College as vice presidents. And before I will finally give them the space to introduce themselves, I want to seize this singular honor to welcome them warmly for honoring our invitation to participate in this policy debate. I am very much grateful, and we thank you so very much for your kind gesture. Now, before we move into the policy debate, I want to tell you the rules and regulations of this policy debate. That is, first, answering questions is not obligatory upon each and every one of you. That is, you might choose to answer questions, you might choose not to answer questions. It is not a force upon you, neither an obligation. And the second one is no insults, no mockery, and no humiliation. Let us debate based on what we have for the students of our beloved institution and nothing otherwise. On that note, I wish you all the best of luck and success. Now I will hand over the mic to Honorable Louis Genio Mendy to kindly introduce himself to the audience.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Sana. It is indeed a pleasure to be here. I will thank you and then thank your council for organizing this thing. I will also thank uh, my people, the team that is Team Coalition of Independent. I will thank the campaign manager, the campaign managers, all of them. Also, I will also thank the supporters who make us at least push us to make sure that we are standing here today and also be presentable for you people, the viewers, to listen to us. My name is Luis Junior Mendy, a student of the Gambia College, commonly known as the Junior Pen, a student of the School of Education, and I am doing English and science in the arena of advanced diploma primary. I am the only pen of the Gambia College who is known everywhere. Anywhere you see me, you see pen. And I will tell you interesting news about me when we go. Thank you all.
Thank you so very much, VP, for briefly introducing yourself to us. Now I will hand over the mic to the President, rather, who is Biran B. Salah, to also introduce himself.
Thank you so much. Good evening to the fellow Gambia College students, and thank you so much, Honorable Information and Communication Minister, Mr. Sana Bojang, for giving me the latitude to stand before this platform today to express my utmost satisfactions, in vying for the position of Vice Presidency in the forthcoming GCSU election. And I give my utmost thanks to my campaign manager and of course the team that I'm representing here, which is Mighty Team Webs, that have been always known for their, you know, uh, uh, victorious and of course their powerful indulgence when it comes to political development in the Gambia College. Before I just introduce myself, I just want to remind my co-campaign manager we have that we don't do English. We major English or we pursue it as an academic excellent in an institution. So doing is a workforce. My name stands as Mr. Biran B. Sala, a final year student of the Gambia College, pursuing advanced diploma in English and social and environmental studies. And then alias I'm called Professor Santos Sacramentos as the only academic juggernauts, long-headed apparatchik, the erudite Eket, and the Lollapalooza Rabbi of this cosmopolitan metropolis. I thank you all and welcome you. Kindly listen to hear from our policy debate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for briefly introducing yourself to us. And that will take us to another question. What are your roles and responsibility as Vice President?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Sana. It's indeed he was trying to rectify me, and then in that rectification he was trembling, just like he's fighting. Here you should be presentable. Anyway, let me go straightforward. As the vice president of the Gambia, I'm already the vice president of the Gambia College Student Union. Either you like it or not, because I normally serve, and I have been serving these clubs, and also I also serve as a committee member in many of the in the 8th executive council. Okay, in the 8th executive council of the Star Association. To tell you about the rules and responsibility of the vice president, one is to coordinate the affairs of the union. One is to coordinate the affairs of the union. Two is to consult the Secretary General to document and file all the minutes that is written in all the meetings that have been taken in the union. Another one is when the files of the executive, let's say the past executive, is being handed to the new executive, this vice president will give the money to the auditor general or will give it to the secretary general to keep it safely for the new coming executive. Another role of the vice president is to make sure that if the president is not in place or in ground, the vice president will be the one to coordinate and give delegation to his ministry. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Honorable, for briefly telling us your roles and responsibilities as Vice President. Now I will hand over the mic to the Honorable Biran to also tell us his roles and responsibilities.
Thank you once again. I believe Honorable Information Minister, this man sitting opposite me, is petulant enough and rapacious that he do not understand his role as a vice president. Alluding the fact that I was trembling, but right now I'm seeing him sweating, and I am even afraid as before we complete this, interview or debate policy, we might end up being flooded with sweat. So right now, as my responsibility and role as a vice president, in reference to the 2019 Gambia College Constitution, which is the golden book that governs this institution as far as student leadership and union leadership is concerned. Article 2, Chapter 2, Article 2, 1.2 of my responsibility as a vice president. One is to coordinate the internal affairs of the union, since we know that the primary responsibility of the vice president is to coordinate within the ministries in order to delegate them responsibilities, to see whether they're performing their duties and their responsibilities. In the absence of the president, the vice presidents in the council, that is the GCSU council, the union, have to step in as the man in charge in order to see that the union work and in gloves with the rest of the management within the Gambia College. The other primary responsibility is to make sure that he coordinate work with the Secretary General in order to make sure records are kept and reference in the events, a conference is held. These records are later brought before the conference for transparency and presented before the Gambia College students. The other one, my primary responsibility as a vice president, and is to make sure work with the auditor general in bringing out all those union materials. These union materials can either be gadgets, can be records, or other stuffs in order to cooperate hand in glove with the vice president and the auditor general and present it in the events that there is a handing over or a congress that is held. He made a mention that he no doubt that you are already a vice president. I am a bit more disappointed enough. If you are acting in this manner, like you are so childish to present yourself telling the Gambia college. These are people that have intellect, they have mind to think, they have eyes that are watching. You cannot dictate them by telling them you are already in office when you are not even voted. You don't even have a single vote. So I thank you, and I believe I have responded in accordance to your question. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Honorable VP, for telling us your roles and responsibility. Now, I will have a follow-up question to both of you regarding your roles and responsibility that you just mentioned. And as VP, part of your roles is to make sure that you coordinate these internal activities of the honorable ministers. How are you going to make sure that all these ministers, your ministers, implement the policies that they have for students or what they were promising the students? How are you going to make sure that your ministers implement those policies? Hence, you are working directly with them.
Thank you so very much for asking this question. He was just bit boozing or beaten by the bush. He made a mention as an English student. You see, he made a mention. What is that? I made mention. Be presentable and stop being in jargons that you don't even understand. Here you are told to tell us your responsibilities, not about bringing jargons or quoting. No, here we are here to present our say our policies. Now to go back to your question, you as the vice president, I will make sure that I will be reminding each and every minister to do his role. Every time that the minister is supposed to be in office, I will make sure that uh, that minister comes in time. And also, whenever you are given, as a minister, you are given a work to do, I will make sure that I will follow you. Even if I'm not there, I will ask the secretary general to follow you and make sure that you do the work as expected. I will also make sure that all the policies that have been ought to do by any minister or even me, we are going to sit down, vet it out, and make sure that we knock all those. If it is financial, like you ought to do something that is needed or requires financially, we are going to make sure that we write donation letters and give it to all the stakeholders, even not all, but the ones that we know, to make sure that they support us financially. If it is labor, we are going to make sure that we all the ministers and also the students to make sure that we help each other to make sure that we try by all means to make sure that we implement those policies. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Now I'll hand over the mic to the next aspiring candidates for Vice to also say.
It appears to me is a debate policy, but I am going to give lectures. It is not my fault that you are unable to understand the language that I am giving. As no wonder you are a political sojourner, or I can say you are, let's say, a political in nature, a filibuster. Filibusters are member of political agents that engage in long discussions of, political discourse to avoid, individual who have conscience and trying to put things in order. Don't stop deviating the question and go straight. You are, in fact, it appears to me like you don't even, you're not prepared. You are not in a serious business because that's the reason why you stand as an independent candidate. So, my primary responsibility as a, to make sure how effective. He made a mention that he is going to follow, his ministers in order to make sure efficient or coordinations within the ministry for them to execute. My friend, you are not a hard man in the bush. You cannot be following your ministers like a hard man following a cattle. What you can do, you have to have the technical know-how, you have to have the foresight and the pedigree as a vice president. How are you going to ensure that? This, if I am elected, I'm talking to the Gambia College students. If I'm elected in office as the next vice president of the Gambia College 43rd, GCSU, what I will do is to make sure effective coordination. This I reference it back to the Article 2, Chapter 2, Article 1.2 of my responsibility. One is to try and make sure that we introduce what we call the timely book. This timely book, all executive must respond on time in the office to make sure that by 8 o'clock we begin our responsibility, our service, and then by 4 o'clock, if we have to close, we clock. When there are effective, or urgent or emergency issues that we have to conduct an emergency meeting. In fact, in reference to chapter 2, I believe that you are not familiarized with your constitution as an aspirant candidate for the position of vice presidency. So no wonder I will lecture you today if that is what you want. So this will come back to the sport minister. All sport ministers, whenever there are issues that we have, we relate to sportsmanship, we relate to finance, because we understand that no union can perform its duties and responsibility without acquiring finance. And under the last chapter, that is chapter 8 of the GCSU, I am referencing this constitution. Put me chapter 8 of the GCSU is to make sure that we tap fund. How is the union going to tap fund? I'm talking the responsibility of the finance minister. We are going to make sure through the nutrition minister we cook on sales. We also tap funds from organizations and philanthropists that we know. So in order to make sure Gambia College needs and aspiration are at the end of the day achieved as your next vice presidency. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Before I proceed to the other question, I would want to urge all of you to please make your statements pithy. I mean, try to summarize them because time is not on our side, and that will take us to the next question. What pursue you to vie for the position of vice president?
Thank you, Honorable. I want to tell him that he don't even understand. When you are talking, you need to understand the foresight of speaking. Communication is a key. It's not about beating by the bush or saying something that you know that your viewers will not understand. I am here. You cannot tell me about jargons. I understand what is what, and then I understand the principle of communication. That is why I am straightforward. And then viewers, please listen. Not about jargons. It's about you understanding what people are saying. Going to what you say, the reason why I buy this position is because I have been serving the students. I have I have served as the vice chairman of the UPAM of the Gambia College. That is, UPAM is about Pan African in the Gambia College. I also serve in many clubs as the secretary general. I also serve as a committee members. I also serve outside the Gambia College. So with that, and also the dedication and the vision as a leader, I do not want them to choose a leader who has no vision, no integrity, no empathy. That is why I took that mandate to come out and be voted for. I don't want leaders who are self-centered, who jump from frying pan to the fire. No, we don't need those type of leaders. We need leaders who are loyal, who have integrity, not people who just who are power hungry. No, we don't need those type of leaders. So that is the reason why I say we don't want leaders who are self-centered. We want leaders who have vision, integrity, and also demos. We want those type of leaders, not leaders who just come from bush and want to represent our school. No, thank you.
Thank you so very much. And now I will hand over the mic to the next VP.
I have reserved it because the amount of grammatical bombardment or errors that I registered. I am allergic to bad grammar, so I will not respond to your that personal attack on me, and in fact, I'm not being moved by that. So I will just delve direct to the points, the question that he asked. I believe I'm the right candidate. I have emphasized that from the beginning of 2022 when I was admitted in the Gambia College. Known all those that knew me that I was admitted at the same time. No, like some will even question the fact that whether in fact I senior them in the Gambia College. But the fact that knowing the numerous service that I have rendered to the Gambia College, they are looking and then they will bear witness. Posterity will judge at the end of the day. We don't need this type of individuals, who is just putting on a course for the fact of putting. You just put on that suit, and no wonder you are sweating like normal business. So, what I can tell you, not only that, before in fact coming to the Gambia College, one time I was a teacher. In fact, I started teaching. I have 3 years teaching experience when Louis Jr. was in upper basic school. So that is one of the reasons to tell you that I am the right person. I have the experience. I used to work on the effective intervention, a non-partnership project. It is a partnership project, a non-governmental project partnership with the Ministry of Basic and the Secondary Education. I also, have served in many organizations. One, I acquired a diploma in the IR, that is the IOU, Online International University, which is located in Benin. So that was in 2022. The other one is to make sure that I also acquired this certificate that I'm talking about right now in 2018 when I completed effective intervention. And some of them will be, when they watch the video, they will be me witness. So the other one, I have served as a speaker of the African Youth Center for Climate Change. That was in 2023 submission for African climate change submission. Not only that, in fact, I'm not talking about the Gambia College right now. You said you serve as a committee. Not even serving as a committee that is docile in nature. Committee cannot even present even a single document. So it's not talking about committee. I am in most of the committees within the Gambia College. Now I'm talking about the student service that I have rendered. I have rendered student service and most of the time conducting tutorial classes for Gambia College students. That is more important when it comes to academic excellence. So I believe I'm the right candidate, and then vote for competency. If it is competency, we vote for Biran Bisala as your next vice president of the Gambia College Student Union. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful viewers. I think this policy debate is getting interesting, and I hope you are following and enjoying. Now, I would want to ask the next VP, that is Luis Jr. Can you please tell us your policies and programs?
Before going to your this question, I want to tell him I don't even serve only in the Gambia College. As a young and vibrant leader, I have served in my own parish. I have served in the West Coast Deanery as the Secretary General. I am very young, yes, you can say that, but have the intelligence, the foresight, and the integrity to serve. I also have the passion and the willingness to serve. As a leader, I also organize how many tutorial classes in the Gambia College for the year ones because they see my service and then they know that I can serve them as a leader. Leaders are not people who not. It's not about you teaching for 3 years, you doing this, you doing that. No, it's about your passion, the service. That is about leadership, not about the experience. No, experience doesn't give you the quality to be a leader. It doesn't give you. So to tell you, my policy one is that I have a student welfare policy, and I also have student engagement and support policy, and I also have financial stability and development policy. Now to go to student welfare policy, I will implement all the pending projects and policies that are not being able to implement by the last executive council to my council to make sure that those policies should be implemented, and those policies can be implemented only when they are of the best interest of the student. To go to another one, I will make sure that I include everything that we are doing as an executive. We'll make sure that we'll be in the diversity of equality, inclusivity, and good representation. I will also make sure that we write domination letter to all the stakeholders. Also, I will also write donation letter to the schools. Let's say the executive of uh, the current presidency, and also the executive of the union, to make sure that everything is intact. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, VP, for telling us your policies and programs. I will get back to you for more questions. Now I'll hand over the mic to the next candidate.
The question is, how do you wish to implement these policies? That is under the policies, right? If I get you right.
No, I am asking you the policies that you have.
That you have as an individual. It appears to me this the Louis Junior that is ranting on platforms on WhatsApp pages, with maximum garrulity is not the one that is seated here. You maximum garrulity means the amount of talkativeness that you're making. I want to lecture you because you said I am making a lot of. So you allow me when. Can we have a scintillating conversation? I mean, a very civilized conversation. So that is to say, this man seated here have no agenda. I swear by the Creator who guided me and until where I am right now. And then if you happen to give your chance to team him, we end up being in doom. There is no program, no agenda. There's no foresight that he is talking about. There is no pedigree. Uh, Appears to me, Gambia College is an institution that is mandated by 4 sister schools. You cannot be sitting here with me and then be telling me domination as a vice president, aspirant vice president. Allow me to speak. No, allow me to speak. If you don't want to be lectured on this platform, so I believe you have to quit your position as a vice president. So right now, you said student welfare. In accordance to the Gambia College Constitution, my policy, standing policies, one is effective coordination. Effective coordination through my ministers, through the ministers of various ministries. How I'm going to ensure that is through by reporting. This every ministry must have a report book, and every minister must submit your report book. At the end, we're going to select a scheduled time. That is, at the end of every 3 months, you have to submit your report book. That is to tell us that the activity that you have conducted, because we understand on the GCSU constitution that Congress are to be held twice in a year. One, it can be a legislative Congress. So what we are going to do as a vice president, in order to make sure that effective coordination and management within the council, we are going to make sure we give report books to all the ministers in order to report back as the vice president and the secretary general for record and for posterity for those that are to come to reference it. The other one I have is to make sure that transparency and inclusivity. Transparency and inclusivity simply means what? That we are going to make sure through our information minister, we are going to do activity transparency. Likewise, those watching me from the School of Midwifery, Nursing and Midwifery, most of the time we find out that not all activities that are conducted within the Gambia College, they are aware of. How are we going to conduct that? We are going to keep records. And through our Secretary General and our Assistant and the Auditor General, we are going to reference this in a reference book, and transparency will be presented on the day of the Congress for the Gambia College students to see and then know that what we have been doing in council. The other one of my standing policy also to provide good internet service, because we understand on your acceptance letter as a students of the Gambia College ranging from 4 sister schools, we understand that most of the time when you are accepted, the admin is the one that record that all students must pay $1,000 for your internet fee, and this internet fee are most of the time not beneficial. They are not manageable. Poor internet connectivity is what we have been experiencing. As your next vice president, what I will make sure is to have a dialogue with the admin, with my president. We sit with the admin, tell admin what we are singing here is to make sure that provide good internet service for all the Gambia College students, because they paid their money. Or if you cannot provide good internet service, students have to stop paying internet service to the Gambia College students, or they can return in turn give the service to the Gambia College Student Union. The Student Union will in turn provide good service to the Gambia College student. So these are among my few policies, and I indeed want to just stop here, and on the day of the concert, I will compartmentalize your place. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, VP, for letting us know your policies and programs. And now I will take the mic to the Vice President, who is Junior Luis, to tell us how he intends to achieve all his programs, most especially where he says students' welfare policy. I want you to say something about it. Convince the students about that.
Okay, thank you. He's going to compartmentalize me. That is, he's going to make me to be more strengthened. Anyway, you have to make me to be more vibrant. To tell you about my student welfare policy is, when I resume as the vice presidency, I will make sure that all the pending projects that are not done by the 42nd executive, I will make sure that we complete that projects and make sure that we achieve it. And also I will make sure that all the policies that are not implemented by the 42nd executive are implemented, and then those policies can be of the best interest of the students. And then if you want to come, some policies are there, you cannot attain it. Like he mentioned, like internet fee. You know how many executives who were trying to fight for internet fee and they cannot remedy that situation. There are conditions that are given. You don't even know because you don't even interact with the executive, with the administration. Those things, they will give you a choice. Either the students are going to increase their payment, or that they cannot benefit more in that internet service, because that is a mandate. You have to at least pay your, like, let's say, pay more money to make sure that they increase the internet service, or there will be, let's say, the students cannot benefit as they want, because the students are not benefit. How can you make that students to benefit it? That is the question that I want to ask you. How, which mechanism can you use to make sure that students benefit from that internet, as you rightly mentioned, because it is a concern, we all know, but how can you implement, how can you make sure that you implement it? Because many people have been trying to do that, they cannot achieve it. So I think your that policy, you have to reframe it, or we throw it into the Banjul River. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much, His Excellency, the Vice President, for telling us how you intend to achieve your policies. Now, to the next VP, can you also tell us how you intend to achieve your policies, most especially the provision of internet services, rather?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. But I underline the word how he wish that he have elaborated or dwelt more on how he wish to achieve it. He have not said nothing here. People are just listening, and in fact, your explanation is bogus. Is not, is not even clear enough to any individuals here. What you said, compartmentalizing, you mean you strengthening. I bet you need to have a language class. Compartmentalize mean dividing or dissecting individual into pieces, and that's what I mean on the convention day. So to dwell on my policy, you said, you see, there is a saying that says, when a when a head of a family wallow it moralities, it family suffers. When an individual, who is petulant and rapacious enough, just for self-aggrandizement and greed, want to hold a position, he tend to bring actions that are so questionable in nature. He is doubting the fact that how I wish to tackle the problems of the internet service. Since you are not sure for yourself as an aspirant candidate for the position of vice president, I am indeed so as the next senator and then the next vice president of the Gambia College Student Union. Why I believe that? Because students are paying, and it is mandatory for Gambia College students to benefit internet service. It's of no excuse. If the admin is taking $1,000 a year from a Gambia College student, it is mandatory. It is a mandatory and a regulatory upon the Gambia College student to receive good internet service for proper lectures, for proper research. And how I wish to, I'm going to educate you. It's not for, if you want to add it to your policy, you can add it to your policy on the day of the convention. So how I wish to is simple. This is to have a dialogue. There is nothing, no amount of problem, no amount of pressure that does not that will not demand a dialogue. We need to have a dialogue with the admin, and this dialogue will be scintillating. Admin respect the fact that we are from the union, and they must have adhere to our cries and the cries of the Gambia College student. We are going to emphasize to the admin that the Gambia College students are not receiving good internet service, and through that we are going to work protocols, because we understand that most of the time in institutional mandate we follow protocols. Management have to look at the number of students that are admitted in the Gambia College and how many of them suffers from the consequential, nature of bad internet service. Then we give them the report through the education minister, and then through the education minister now we are going to report this back to the admin in order to get the number of students so that the admin can file this and provide good internet service. If you do not know, then you can kindly take this and put it, add it to your points as an upcoming candidate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, VP, for telling us how you intend to achieve your policies. I have one last question to each and every one of you. What do you have for persons with disabilities?
Okay, before going further, I would like to tell him that in anything that you do is dialogue. You don't need to tell us that you are going to you are going to have a dialogue with the administration to make sure that you solve that problem. How many people have tabled this with the administration and they cannot solve it? Are you in any ways telling us that you are the most intelligent person or you are the most stubborn person who can make the administration do that? There are ways that you can channel it. I'm sure you don't know it. You don't know it because that is why I asked you that question. Anyway, to tell you that I'll make sure that these people with disability, I will make sure that all of many, not all of them, but few of them to be part of the committee members of the the 43rd Executive Council. I'll also make sure that me and my education minister to organize a program whereby they will they will bring a facilitator who will teach students to respect the people with disability, because we know that in our this generation many people are there they do not respect people with disability. So we are going to advocate for that and also make them to be part of the committee members, though they are not given the mandate to lead in the GCSU election, but also they are given the mandate to be committee members. So I'll make sure that even if we can, me and my other council members, even we can make sure that we put them as a committee member, that would be fine. At least to encourage them and to make them know that they are human beings like us, despite the some of the differences, but they are human beings and then they need to be respected. So that will make a fair and inclusivity. I will also make sure that I provide some facility. I will make sure that I tell my Secretary General to write a letter to the Minister of Sport and Welfare Minister, Minister of Sport, to make sure that he help us with some of these materials that they may need. There are many materials that we need, and even the Minister of Education, we will try to write a letter to them to tell them that these are the things that they need. Some of them may not have because we know that people who are not they feel it very difficult to see the blackboard and are invisible. We are going to provide, maybe even if we don't have many materials, but there are laptops that they can give. If we have that laptops, we are going to prioritize them so that they can use them as things that they will make sure to help their education and improve their education. That is what we are going to do. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Now I will also hand over the mic to the next VP to also tell us what he have for persons with disabilities.
I am crying deep in heart for the fact that the amount of grammatical suicide, let me repeat, and then the unattainable words, the misconfusions, and all forms of words that I have said, it naturally appears to me that this man, is not even, let's say this young man seated here, he appeared confused and he appeared unwilling because he is thinking and there is a cut of word and a choice of word, anytime that he is talking. So what I will do is right now, I don't believe so. Anybody that will force you to this position, go back to the person and tell him that, please, I cannot do it. Just go back to them because this is the biggest disgrace ever that I have seen as an individual. You are a disgrace not only to the party that you represent, that you prove to represent, but you are also a disgrace for you and those generations that will come after you. So right now, what I just want to say, as your incoming vice president, one of the basics, attainable policy that I have for the differently able. These are individuals that may be physically disabled, but psychologically and emotionally they are able. These are individuals that perform or compete in high academic excellence. And what we will do, we try to input them back in the council. And not only that, through our education minister, we are going to, give them chance, platform to showcase out their talents. And when it comes to sportsmanship, we understand that differently able sometimes they cannot perform, they cannot participate in sportsmanship like football. But some of them cannot participate in football, but they can participate in other activities like competition, like a quiz or debates, or sometimes work for health competitions. Now through other activities also, what I have secured as the next vice president is to make sure through the through the gender and health minister that most of them, if the females through the gender and health minister, we have to put them in committees because the constitution has given us that it is mandatory for the council to provide 8 committee members, 2 in each school. So we are going to look into that and amalgamate them into our council. So that is to say, we are more prepared than this man. In fact, the way he look at me, he assumed to be lectured. No, right now. So that is the problem. So as we speak, you have to listen and attend. And after this interview, I want you to go back to those that you are representing and tell them quit this position. Thank you so much, and that is what I have for you.
Thank you so very much. Uh, the debate is now coming to an end. And before I finally conclude, I want to give them to ask each one question. You ask each one question, please.
Okay, thank you. Uh, to tell him that words like, let's say, sentence needs to be to understand. You have to understand the sentence. It was made mention that no character assassination, no mockery. But here, all your words are all your sentences are mockery. That is why is to say you have no sense of direction. You don't understand what is mentioned as a as an individual. You don't need you should not be insulting people using big words. No, this is policy debate. You have to understand policy debate. I see many things in you which I cannot mention. That is why I understand. I don't want to mock you because I respect you. And then in debate, you need to understand. It's not about you are older than me. It's about maturity, understanding what you see. So to tell you that my question is, you as uh, the next vice president, as you mentioned, chosen by the team webs or chosen by team webs, how can you make sure that you help students who are suffering from mark problem? And also, as the next vice president,
One question.
okay, one, okay, all right, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
This I am very much glad to remind the Gambia College students that are watching. He have already confessed that I am the next vice president, and indeed I am very much happy as the next vice president. Those students that are having mark problems, I want to help these students in making sure that through our education minister, all those students through the committee, we work hand in gloves with the committee of the education minister within our council to tackle the problems of the marks problems that the Gambia College students are having. We having dialogue and we understand. And you admitted the fact that dialogue is the key to resolving of any problems that happens. So this dialogue will come. We're going to look at head of departments of academics. We go with them, and most of the time, those students that have academic problems, most when it comes to exams, they will be their marks will be resolved. And those that find it difficult too to get their attestations upon completion will also be given the chance, will also be adhered to and be given the chance to receive their attestation. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
You can also ask one question.
Yes, as the aspirant candidate for the position of vice presidency for the GCSU election, I just want to ask you a question, which is, uh, how will you manage? How will you manage the a problem when a conflicts come before your council? How are you going to tackle it as a vice president?
Thank you. Before going to the question, I think you don't even answer my question because this problem was have been happening here, and then you don't even bring us tangible reason or mechanism how to solve those problems. You are giving us some things that you know that you are thinking you are going to do, but you are not giving us mechanism to solve those problems. To go when like in a council as the vice president, when problem is, let's say a minister happen to have a problem with his fellow minister, you are going to make sure that first you bring them forward let them sit tete-a-tete, and then from there you ask them what are the problems that what led them to have that problem. From there, when they give their own narratives of what happened or what led to that problem, you as the vice president, you are going to have at least calm them down, tell them what are what is the reason of why they are in the office. Because they are in the office not to quarrel, but to serve the students. Though we know that conflict happen, yes, but conflict can be resolved in an amicable way without having grudges or without having an external grudge within themselves. So I will make sure that I will call them, let them sit tete a tete, and then solve the problem without each reaching to the students. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. This will mark the end of our policy debate. But before I finally conclude, I want you to say one or two words to the students.
Okay, thank you. I want to tell the students that you don't vote for people who don't understand what they are doing. A person who force apply for the position of presidency in the seven executive council, sorry, eight executive rather, and he did not win. He ran away. He did not even come to help students when they need them the most. He ran. Sometimes when students call him, like when we have a program, and then when he is called, he just sit like a boss and then seen people rendering service. We don't need bosses. We need people who render service to the student. It's not about you listening to someone who is speaking out of context or who is character assassinating people, who is mocking people. We listen to people who know that their sense of reasoning is well, who know that they are knowing what they are going to do, and when they win, they will at least help you because they have been serving you, and your voice is their concern. I will make sure that I will present myself, help you to solve your problems amicable without no chaos. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Now I will hand over to the VP Brand to also tell us his final words to the student. But please try to summarize it because we are running against our time.
And indeed, I attend School of Summary. Thank you so much for giving me the latitude again. Very much, very much, very much disappointed with what he said. That people, who I contested bravely, and all the Gambia College within the School of Education, until today, serve me with that respect and dignity, knowing fully, that is election is not the best way to gauge an individual competency. I was given the chance, I will execute it. For the fact that he is telling me I am a boss. I don't know where you get it. It is not you or your political godfathers. It is not you or those that have pushed you to these offices. It is not you or those that are campaigning rally you. In fact, I do not even wanted to have this. I just, what, allow me. Yeah, so what I just wanted to say is allow me. I was one time. Can we have a scintillating and a civilized? Yes. So, in to conclude, my final words is to say that I was fully and serving as the advisor in the most concluded, active, most successful and concluded student week, which is the Star Week in the School of Education. So I have participated fully, and I was not anywhere running away from students or responsibility. I have executed my responsibility. And one thing I can tell you, the Gambia College student, come on the 15th of, that is Wednesday, come and vote for Mighty Team Reps, vote for competency, vote for people that are not petulant, that are not angry or grievance. And then we witness this victory in the grand style of Jakon Jakondity. I thank you all. God bless you.
Well, wonderful viewers, this marks the end of our policy debate, and thank you so very much for watching.
Yande marong, yande jai kai wai, yande marong suma yande marong kai wai. Uram bizan wai jangama. Mernala big. Mernala big wajal sumanje ke na zed yo yamaton. yen kilime na fonye bang fan tv yen kilime na fonye bang fan tv yen kilime na fonye bang gasiti kadomo wallahi yen kilime na fonye bang gasiti kadomo de wallahi gasiti kadomo